Hello and welcome to Robhelpsout, Season 1, Episode 1. Today's question comes from Wyatt's mommy, Jess. No location, assuming her name is Jess. I had an affair a couple months back. I would like to still be friends with the guy, but my husband said he's not okay with that. Is he wrong for that? Well, Jess, I would say if your husband's not allowing you to be friends with any guys, it sounds like he's trying to be controlling. And although I understand that he might have concerns due to you having an affair, but if he has truly forgiven you, then he should trust you. I mean, if you're married, there definitely needs to be a certain amount of trust. I believe that you were definitely wrong for looking outside of your marriage. I'm glad that you decided that what was best for you was your marriage. Or at least I'm hoping that's what it was. It's kind of vague. I don't know if he, maybe he's threatened you to stay in your marriage. And if that's the case, I think that you should seek help. Now, if he's saying that he's not comfortable with you being friends with the guy that you had the affair with, I can definitely understand where he's coming from. Over half of all affairs do end marriages and relationships, and most people are not forgiving. Now, they can tend to turn out really wrong in a sense that even after a husband or wife says that they forgive the other person, they can become very abusive, very controlling, very possessive. So I definitely hope that you keep an eye out for that and realize the signs of that. Now, another concern is this affair. Was it a one-time thing? Was it an ongoing thing? All you said was that it happened a couple of months ago. So that's definitely another concern where I really can't give an answer on whether or not he's wrong. I can't say that he's right. But if this was an ongoing thing, it happened for months or years, I can definitely understand his concern. And I would wonder definitely, if this was an ongoing thing, even how you could believe that you could be friends with this guy. After having a sexual relationship, or any type of relationship or commitment, we tend to find it more difficult to have just a basic friendship with these people. Even after a so-called one-night stand, it tends to become more difficult. So, again, I cannot say he's wrong, I cannot say he's right, but I definitely understand his concerns. What I would suggest to you is that you sit down and you talk to him about this. And definitely, bring up your concerns, allow him to bring up his, and, talk. You guys are in a relationship. Don't argue, don't fight. Just talk about it. Come to some type of agreement. Maybe you can have a phone friendship, just texting and calling. Maybe just not going out of the house alone with this guy, or having this guy come over to the house, while your husband's not home. Maybe those are some things that can be discussed. And that would be my advice to you. Is definitely talk to your husband about this, or your wife. I'm not sure. I'm assuming that it's going to be a husband because you had an affair with the guy, though. Now, most affairs are caused by lack of compassion, lack of availability, and abuse. What I mean by that is most people look outside of their marriages for some reason other than the fact that they just want to get some. A lot of the time, people have affairs due to their husband or wife never being home, always at work, have other obligations, maybe a PTA, counsel, obligations in the community, work. I believe I already said that, but or maybe even they volunteer. And if this is the case, you can't expect your partner not to fulfill these obligations that they've already given themselves to. What you should do is try to take at least one day out of the week and just spend time with your spouse or partner. In a lot of situations, in most situations, it's the female of the relationship that feels left out. Is also the one left home with the kids. And that's when they tend to look outside of their relationship. They don't feel as though they're wanted. They don't feel as though they're loved. They don't feel as though they're appreciated. And if you have these concerns, I would suggest that you talk to your partner about this. Maybe set up a date night once a week, once a month, just you and him. Maybe find a babysitter for the kids if you have kids. And just spend time together, cuddling, watching a movie, going out to dinner. Whatever you guys feel is best. They could possibly go bowling. Agree on something. Another thing is, every family should have a family night once a month, once a week, whatever the case may be, where you sit down and you either eat a dinner as a full family, play a game, something. Definitely communication is key in every relationship and every family. This is something that you definitely want to take advantage of, especially when your children are younger. They don't have so many obligations such as sports, studies, musical instruments, things of that nature. So you definitely want to take advantage when they're younger and get them used to it, get them in the habit of it. So if you are being abused, I would definitely say to seek help. I would never suggest that you should stay in a relationship because you have children with another person. And most times that's not fair to the children. They always see you fight and argue. And if your spouse or partner tends to be violent with you, about 80% of the time they'll be violent towards the kids as well. So that's definitely something you want to keep an eye out for. If they're slapping you around, you definitely want to get help. My final thought for today is, again, communication is key. Without communication, you can't have a relationship. You can't have a family. You can't be happy in that relationship. I would suggest that before you become so unhappy that you start looking outside your marriage, you start thinking about divorce or separation, or you think about breaking up with your partner, definitely sit down and talk with them. Have a long conversation with them. Come up with some ideas to liven up your relationship, liven up your marriage, spend more time together. My final thought, again, is just communication is key. Always communicate with your partner, your spouse, your kids, your parents, your siblings. Keep your family together and keep it strong. Today's quote, again, was by Theodore Roosevelt. The only man that has never made a mistake is the man who has never done anything.